Starting with the name of the Almighty Creator. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Some films are so hard to recommend, not because they are no good, because they are so good at presenting something so harsh, so upsetting, that you almost feel bad that people should put themselves to watching them. Beautiful Boy is one of those kind. Based on the best-selling memos of David Shelf's Beautiful Boy and Nick Shelf's Tweak, it not only portrays the bitingly raw portrayal of drug addiction, it also depicts a father and son relationship pushed to the limit by a seemingly no-win situation. It's a 2018 American biographical drama film directed by Felix Van Groningen. So presenting Beautiful Boy. Mr. Riad will tell us about the plot of the film. Mr. Rafi and Mr. Roni will acknowledge you about the positive and negative aspects of the film. And Mr. Riad will mention the takeaways. And I will discuss about the business of the film. So Mr. Riad, please tell us about the plot of the film.
Thank you, Zain, for nicely introducing. Beautiful Boy chronicles the heartbreaking and inspiring experience of survival, relapse, and recovery in a family coping with drug addiction over many years. When the journalist David Shelf discovers his teenager son Nick has been experimenting with drugs, he has to face the grim reality of being the addict. As a father, his son has become someone he barely recognizes. Beautiful Boy explores the tragic life of Nick Shelf, a struggling teenager who has become the victim of drug addiction. In the initial sequence of the film, it shows how chaotic Nick's life is. He is isolated and prone, as drug addiction strips him from his family, life, and personality. David Shelf is heartbroken to seeing this condition of his son, and he tries his best to provide the help he needs. He dominates as a character of serious, anxious, and horizontal father. The passion he has to save his son has no boundaries. He is willingly to just about everything to make sure his son is alive. However, he realizes that by doing this, he is harming the relationship between his wife and his kids. For a moment in this movie, it shows that Nick has been sober and tried and leading life normally with his family. But unfortunately, the grass of drug addiction is not go away easily. Nick has been trapped into the never-ending cycle of drug addiction and soberness. In the ending title, it shows Nick has been sober for 8 years, and it would not have been possible without the love and support of his family and friends. That's all from me. Thank you for hearing me attentively. Now my next presenter, Mr. Rafi, will talk about the positive aspect of the film.
Thank you, Mr. Riad, for giving me a nice introduction. Hello, audience. From the plot, it can be understood that the film is tragic. Let's talk about some positive aspects of this film. Number 1. The standout in Beautiful Boy is definitely Timothée Chalamet's natural acting. The Carol and Chalamet are both so good, we saw them simply interact with each other in an extended period. Number 2. There are uncomfortable truths about addiction, but also how we deal with those who are addicted. Number 3, in the film, there is a hope, and then there isn't, and then there is hope again. Number 4, learning a bit about how a family deal with addiction. And finally, number 5, the director was able to deliver the story appropriately. The coordination between director and cinematographer was splendid. So that's all from my side, and my next presenter, Mr. Roop, talk about some negative aspect of this film.
Thank you all for the opportunity. The negative aspects of the film are: first of all, we got lots of flashback to Nick's childhood and that don't serve much of a purpose, and it makes the film seem longer than it actually is. The non-linear narrative too often steals to its potential power. It might annoy some viewers who prefer a more linear storytelling approach. Secondly, it's almost too fleeting. aesthetic suffocates of the underlying truth of lead actors' performances. And the third one, limited perspective. The film primarily centers around the perspective of David and Nick Shep. A broader perspective of family's experiences could have added depth to the story. And the fourth one, underdeveloped character. David and Nick Shep are well-developed characters. Some supporting characters, such as Nick Shep's friends, could have benefited from more depth and exploration in their roles to the story. In spite of all the negative aspects, there are some major takeaways and ideas to be remembered. Mr. Riad will share those ideas.
Thank you for having me here. I will share 3 ideas to be remembered for the film. Number 1. Memory can be realistic to us, and we see it torture David, wondering if his son's addiction is somehow his fault, and replying happier times at the most heartbreaking interludes. Number 2. This film reminds us that addiction is a disease which does not discriminate. It can hit anybody at any time. Indeed, Nick does not fit the stereotype of a junkie. Raised in a loving upper middle class family, he is a good student and shares a close relationship with his father David. Number 3, this film, mostly based on the true story, shows that vividly that addiction not only affects the individual but also the family. Thank you for hearing me. My next presenter, Jaim, will tell about the business of the film.
This film is a business. Let me tell you how. This film has won many awards. Among them, Aspen Film Festival and Chicago International Film Festival are remarkable. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film has got an average approval of 6.8, 67% on based on 262 reviews, an average rating of 6.8 out of 10. There is a huge fan base of Timothy Chalamet and Steve Carell in Bangladesh. There is furthermore no similar film available on XYZ OTT platform to attract the audience who prefer adaptations. So wrapping up, as we already mentioned about the plot of the film, acknowledged about the positive and negative aspects of the film, and mentioned the takeaways, this can be said that this film will ensure at least 3% subscription increase of XYZ OTT platform. Stories about drugs are not rare in Hollywood, but what is beautiful about this one is Nick Shep, Philbix portrays the cycle of a drug addict victim, showing him relapse several times after getting an healthy sobriety. Drug stories are basically sinister, but what is beautiful about this one is there is a lot of goodwill. This story is less about addiction, more about acceptance. So that is all from us. We have a quick survey to do. There is a minute-long sequence of Nick getting intimate with his girlfriend. So do you think that we should not trim it off? Please raise your hand. Okay, thank you for your participation. Anything you want to ask about the film or the presentation? Anything? Yeah, please go.
What of the budget of the film?
The budget of the thank you so much for your question. The budget of the film was 16 million. We give 16 million euros. Any more further questions? Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Jai.
Do you think that in our country there is a large fan base about the Hollywood film?
Thank you so much for your question. Yes, I think indeed there is a large fan base of Hollywood films, definitely. Any more further questions? Anyone? Yeah. Always, yeah, go ahead. No questions? Yeah, please.
First, I want to appreciate your speech delivery.
Thank
The question is basically as it's about drug addiction. So, do you guys have taken any steps or further taken any steps to prohibit the drug addiction or something like that?
Thank you for your question. Can you please come again?
Yes. Basically, it's all about drug addiction and how it's overcome. So, will you guys take any steps to prohibit it then?
Thank you, but I'm not drug addicted.
For prohibited the surroundings, even maybe you can get some drug addicted in your surroundings and even in your closer family or your friends and friend circle. Will you take any steps or do you think about any kind of steps?
Thank you. If I repeat, your question was.
Let me complement his question. Let's say your body becomes addicted. Did you learn anything from this movie to, support his addiction?
Okay, thank you for the question. If my body gets drug addicted, what I learned from the film is I will support him and I will encourage him and I will. What's the word?
How exactly, if somebody is actually addicted among your friends or families, what do we do? What did you learn from this movie? Like, what's the takeaway? Key takeaway. See, let's say I'm a drug addicted guy. I become drug addicted. Couple of semesters later, you see me hanging around the streets. What would you do to me? Did this movie teach anything about that? Did you get my question?
Yes, I get your question. Thank you for your question, sir. So if you get drug addicted, I will encourage you to participate in MMA with me. Because if you are active physically and mentally, definitely MMA is a chess game. It's more about the mental than the physical. So if you are motivated enough for MMA or any kind of sports, your drug addiction will be reduced.
I get it. Any other ideas from other group members? The same question, but any other ideas?
Yeah, please go ahead.
A family member needs to be passionate, and their passion should be save him or save their bodies at any cost.
So, if somebody becomes addicted, the family, what should they do? Family members, what should they do?
Thank you so much for your question, sir. If someone get addicted, the family member has to be passionate and patient to recover him from this addiction. They have to be patient. They have to motivate him. They have to inspire him so that he can be. They will aware him from drug addiction, so that he can reduce this kind of addiction.
What about the role of friends? What could friends do? Anybody in the group?
Thank you so much for your question again. In everyone's life, friends have a very important role. Friends can motivate us not to do anything or can do anything. So if someone is taking drugs, his friend and family member can motivate him that drug addiction is bad for his health. So I think that's the way to make him move away from drug addiction.
This is a particular movie that I initially didn't watch, but some other group came with the name, and then I looked into it, and then I thought it was a wonderful one for particularly your age. You might have friends and families who are suffering this kind of problem. I hope you have learned something from this movie and it can help them in their recovery. That was the purpose of assigning. I think I assigned the movie to you, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
was the purpose of assigning this movie to you.
Yes.
I hope you can help friends and family members around who are suffering in this problem. All right?
Thank you so much for service.
Any other questions from the audience? Thank you. That will be all.